Welcome to this edition of the Lee's Summit Rundown, where we highlight city news and services. I'm Laura Ingeman. On this episode, take a virtual tour through Lee's Summit Fire Station number 3. Learn about some of the new developments coming into town, meet Councilmember John Lovell, and hear from Cultural Arts Manager Glenda Masters as she talks about the Downtown Sculpture Walk. Let's get to it. The Downtown Sculpture Walk is on its 3rd year in Lee's Summit. Hear about the inspiration behind the project and walk through a few sculptures that are currently up.
Welcome to beautiful downtown Lee's Summit, home of the Downtown Sculpture Walk. The Downtown Sculpture Walk is a temporary or rotating sculpture exhibit, which means that every year we have a new set of sculptures that come in from artists from all across the country. For our Downtown Sculpture Walk, we use an app that's called Oktoberfest, and it is a mobile audio guide that you can download to your smartphone, and it gives you the opportunity to not only find a map and know where all of the sculptures on the sculpture walk are located. You can also see pictures of the sculptures, and you can also hear audio recordings by the artists themselves explaining their artwork.
I'm excited to introduce you.
And so that gives you the opportunity to not only see an art piece, but you can also experience the sculpture as well directly from the artist. And so we've been using that app since we started the sculpture walk, and we've really enjoyed it. A fun feature about the app is that you can also vote for your favorite sculpture while you're doing the sculpture walk. And if we have enough people who like a particular piece of artwork, we may just be able to purchase that at the end of the sculpture walk to incorporate into the city's permanent public art collection. One of the pieces that we have purchased through this process has been our raptor sculpture. Our raptor was featured on the very first exhibit of the sculpture walk in 2020, and the community loved it so much, we were able to purchase the raptor and make it part of our permanent collection. You can download Oktoberfest on any smartphone app store. Simply search for Oktoberfest, download the app, and because Oktoberfest is GPS location-based, when you open up the app, the Downtown Sculpture Walk will be the first guide that you see. We're really happy with how much the community has embraced the Downtown Sculpture Walk. It's been really great to see families of all ages come to downtown and explore the art walk. And we know how much it means to them, and so we really appreciate that.
Join Assistant Fire Chief Jim Eden and Battalion Chief Ben Hicks as they give us a virtual tour of the Lee's Summit Fire Station number 3 and learn about what goes on in a real fire station.
I'm Assistant Chief Jim Eden.
And I'm Battalion Chief Ben Hicks.
And today we're at Lee's Summit Fire Station 3. Fire Station 3 was part of the 2016 no tax increase general obligation bond for public safety initiatives. The station was built and occupied in August of 2020. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we've not been able to give tours or have an actual ribbon cutting. So we want to invite you in today to give you the opportunity to see what goes on within a Lee's Summit Fire Department station.
Let's go take a tour. This is our admin side of the facility. We use this side mainly for offices. We have a lot of work during the day, whether it's training or doing reports or just generally taking care of the shift that we need to do. At this particular station, Station 3, we do have an assistant chief that works out of here. That person has their own office where they need to manage what's going on throughout the day with the shift and staffing, and as well as running calls out of here. The captain has their own office as well. What the captain does is at this specific station is in charge of both the fire truck that's here as well as the ambulance. And so with all those personnel responsibilities as well as running calls and reports, that's where they work out of. And generally for the rest of the crew, which is somewhere around 5 to 6 individuals, we have rooms to write reports, and we have additional training rooms and other rooms where people can work. Walking into our living area, I think it's important to recognize that we work 48-hour shifts. So in the evenings, after 5 o'clock, after work is done, we may have the opportunity to catch a game or something else as long as we're not running calls. and this gives us the opportunity to do that. When we go into our kitchen, I think this gives you a great reason to know why we go to the grocery store. When you see fire trucks at the grocery store, what we're doing. Well, so for 2 days working for 48 hours, we buy all our meals at the grocery store, and then we come in here and cook, just like you guys do at home. So everybody has their own fridge on each shift, as well as their own pantry, and then we cook those meals here. Going into the sleeping side of things, we've got a couple different things that are significant. We have our own laundry room, which again is important when we're here for 48 hours. The opportunity to wash and clean our clothes and bedding is very important for hygiene. And walking into where our beds are, we keep the kind of sleeping quarters over on one side of the building. It gives us both easy access out to where our fire apparatus are, as well as kind of keeping it a little bit quieter for those people that have been up all night running calls. We have 11 bedrooms here at this station, and the reason we built it with so many bedrooms is we want to give ourselves as a city the opportunity to expand. So if we need to put another apparatus here or numerous other people working at this station, that's already in place as far as infrastructure goes, and we don't need to go back and try to make it bigger or better, and that's really important for us, especially because the old station was so small. Back out on the apparatus floor, we had doors facilitated as many places as possible, so that way when we're sleeping at night and a call comes out, we can make our way out fairly quickly to get out onto the truck if we need to and run a call. On the other side of the station, we kind of have other stuff that we may want to keep separated if we want to. Physical fitness is very important to us as firefighters. So in order to better ourselves and make sure we're as healthy as we can to do this job, we have our own gym facility here that we kind of go throughout the day when we can and get an opportunity to come in and work out. Our goal when we run calls, when we get back to the station after calls, our goal is to get ready to go back as soon as we can to run another call. So we have the opportunity or capability here to fill up our air tanks. You can see firefighters wear the big air tanks on their backs, and they use those in a fire. We can come back and fill those up and make sure that we're ready to go again when we're wanting to go run another call. We have our own workshop here. We work on a lot of our tools and making sure that everything's clean and operational, and this gives us the capability to do that, again, to make sure that we have everything we need and we're as capable as we can be running calls throughout the city. Cancer prevention is very important in the fire service right now. Because of that, we have an extractor machine, and what this does is gives us the capability when we come back from a fire, we can put our bunker gear into this machine and get all that really nasty crud off of our gear. Again, kind of getting back to that cancer prevention mode, allowing us to be as clean as we possibly can for the next call. And finally is our bunker gear room. We each have our own individual locker. This gives us the opportunity to store our gear when we're not here working in between shifts, as well as keep a clean extra set on here in case we do run a fire and we need to clean our current gear. Typically, this is where your day starts off at the fire station. You come in and get your gear and put it on wherever you're working that day, and then you end the same way, bringing your stuff back to your locker to go home after working. This is Med 3. This ambulance just currently moved into the station from Station 7. Station 3, since we've had it built, has turned into one of our busiest stations in the city. Therefore, we wanted to provide the best care and the closest unit as we could. So we moved one of our ambulances up, and this became Med 3 for this particular instance. Out of this station, we also have Pumper 3. And that's a fire apparatus that they utilize to run the calls on this west end of the city. The last vehicle that you see is the chief's vehicle. We have 2 shift chiefs on shift every day, and they split the city. And this chief running out of this station typically covers the west and south area of the city, while our chief at Station 2 covers kind of that northeast section of our city, and they divide it up evenly.
Thank you for going on a tour with us today. If you have any other questions about the Lee Summit Fire Department, please go to our webpage at lsfire.net or follow us on Facebook at Lee Summit Fire Department.
Thanks for joining us on the tour.
There's so much going on right now in Lee Summit, it's hard to keep up. The new Development Minute is here to fill you in on some of the most recent developments.
Have you ever been driving around Lee Summit and wondered what's that going to be? What's being built there? Wow, that went up fast. The Development Minute is here to help, highlighting some of the newest projects in Lee Summit, Missouri. Furniture Mall Missouri is opening soon in Summit Fair at the former Macy's building. This 125,000 square foot space is designed to encourage exploring hundreds of styles in a fun and easy way. Gus's World Famous Fried Chicken will open on the corner of 291 Highway and Shipman Road. Gus's is a Memphis-based restaurant offering world famous fried chicken and sides. The restaurant plans a fall 2022 opening. A standalone Baxter's Coffee and Donuts is opening this fall in Lee's Summit. Baxter's Coffee and Donuts are made with high-quality ingredients, fresh every day. A 7,200 square foot medical building is being constructed off of 150 and 291 behind Quick Trip. The building will have room for 2 tenants. K1 Speed indoor kart racing broke ground off of I-470 north of Frontier Justice. The 50,000 square foot indoor kart track will also have a cafe, large gaming area, and meeting rooms. It is slated to open 2023. Mo Bettis is coming to Summit Orchard in Lee's Summit. The restaurant specializes in Hawaiian-style food and will open in early 2023. 7 Brew, a drive-through coffee stand, is being constructed south of Whataburger and across from B&B Theaters. Located at 1430 Northeast Douglas Street, 7 Brew specializes in coffees, teas, sodas, smoothies, shakes, and more. That's it for the Development Minute. For more about upcoming projects, visit cityofls.net.
It's now time for our council member spotlight. Let's meet Councilmember John Lovell and hear about his family legacy in Lee's Summit and what encouraged him to run for City Council.
Councilmember Lovell. Thank you, Mayor. Great presentation, Ryan. Thank you. Is there any indicator that shows, are we supporting a need?
You know, they talk about like gym rats, kids that grew up with their dads that were coaches. Like I was a City Hall rat. My dad, Tom Lovell, was hired as the Parks Administrator in 1978 and spent 40 years in public service here in Lee's Summit. I would go up on the weekends when he was working and I'd run around and play and do things, and I didn't know what he was doing at the time, but I just knew that was part of our weekend routine some days was to go up and hang out at City Hall. Being part of a city from a young age to now in my adult life, you reap so many benefits from that. The people you know, you care more for something that you've been a part of. My wife and I knew we wanted to raise a family. Just trying to find a community that we thought we could raise our children in, that was good to me. And it just felt like the right move as we were deciding on a city to come back to. Fortunate to have started a business in 2018. I founded Lovell Insurance Group, and we are a business insurance brokerage. So we help businesses procure insurance. Decided to throw our flag in the ground here in Lee's Summit, and it's grown. I also have this passion for learning and curiosity, and I started a podcast series. So I really enjoy this opportunity where I sit down with business owners and tell their story. And get this out to other people in hopes that maybe it betters their life and gives them some inspiration. It's going to be a really exciting time, and obviously this city is in my blood. My dad's been a part of it for a long time, so I'm really excited. Thank you all. A lot of people would say I was crazy, right? So why do you throw your hand up and subject yourself to going into city politics? I think, especially as I've gotten older, I just felt, maybe a civic duty, like a responsibility to say, hey, this city's been great to me. Here's a way that I can give back and take some of my skills and put them to work for the people of this city. I wanted to bring a different, maybe way of thinking and take some of my business acumen and see areas that it may apply to how we develop and grow this community and just give a different perspective. One of our biggest challenges, but also one of our biggest opportunities is how do we develop and grow this community? We don't want to grow too fast, but we want to grow at a pace that helps support, who and what we are as a community. So, we've got a lot of opportunities, whether that be through development or parks. We've got a lot of land coming on board. So I just think it's important, it's a challenge, but it's also our greatest opportunity. And so we just got to be smart how we do that. It's just asking some different questions. I'm one that, I'm not contrarian for contrarian's sake. What I am is someone will tell me something, and then I want to get to that position with them by just asking thoughtful questions along the way. And then if I can get there, then I feel like we've answered everything we can to move that forward versus, hey, here's kind of how we've done it. I'm never this is how we do it, this is how we've always done it, and this is how we'll continue to do it. Office of Council Member for District 2. All of my practical experience has put me in this position to serve, and I just raised my hand and said I want to do that. For which I was elected on April 5th, 2022. I feel this obligation to carry this legacy that my dad did, my family did, and then giving my kids an environment to grow up in that makes them want to come back.
My kids have started rec sports through the Parks and Recreation system, and I'm watching them play soccer on this sport field that, you know, my dad helped develop. And my dad's sitting there with me, right? I mean, that's the stuff that really matters in life.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Lee's Summit Rundown. See you next time.